Steelers and Cowboys kicking off the 2021-22 season tonight in Canton. The bar is always set high for these two historic franchises. We're not going to see Big Ben or Dak, though, tonight. We will, however, get a glimpse of a couple of dynamic running backs. Ezekiel Elliott for Dallas, the rookie Najee Harris for Pittsburgh. All right, a lot to get to here. Greg, what are you most excited to see tonight in the Hall of Fame game? For me, it's the music, but maybe it's something different for you.
It's that guy right there. It's not CeeDee Lamb, but Dwayne Haskins for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has a second chance, an opportunity to really impact not only that Steelers team, but his career needs to take off. And I think he has an opportunity. I get it. It's Ben's team. We all know that. But what we do know is that this young man has a high ceiling, and the potential is there. And given his supporting cast now, I believe that Mike Tomlin can really get into his ear and he actually absorb and listen and respond accordingly. The culture is set in Pittsburgh. I think there's a lot of things that Dwayne Haskins can look at and survey, and we can see the best Dwayne Haskins we've possibly seen in the National Football League. I'm talking, he's a first-round pick in 2019. Like the Washington Redskins or the Washington football team, they knew the potential in Dwayne Haskins. And so I'm excited to see it on display. I don't think Mason Rudolph is the guy for the future for the Steelers, but Dwayne Haskins can be that guy.
Right. And look, you're right when it comes to him. But, Greg, you know it's all about the mindset at that quarterback position. You got to be a CEO. You can't be the cool kid on the block. You got to go out there and be able to lead up as like you're, leading up to management, head coaches. And you also got to be the guy that pushes and meet your guys where they're at in the locker room. So if he can learn from Big Ben, if he can learn from Coach T, he could be in good position come a year from now when Big Ben possibly go into retirement. So here's the deal. You have no Dak, no Amari, no Zach Martin, no Tyron Smith, no DeMarcus Lawrence, no Big Ben. So who are we left to watch outside of the quarterbacks? You got Najee Harris. Najee Harris is the guy that was drafted for the Pittsburgh Steelers running back. They need that. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been winning the same way for 50 years. The blueprint pretty much hasn't really changed. So for them to get back to winning Super Bowls, they got to get this running game going. We saw how it looks in the results when you try to have Big Ben later on in his career throw it, 30, 40 times a game. It's not getting them anywhere. Now, have they been explosive on the offense? Yes, but they have a great defense, okay? They have one of the best front sevens out there. And now if you get that run game going and you have Big Ben doing what he needs to do, just making sure he's leading the way and also getting his guys in position, this could be a scary team. And the other person, Nick, that we need to look at is Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, right? Dan Quinn comes over from Atlanta. He's now the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. The Cowboys offense, oh, my goodness. I know you picked them last year, Nick, and I wanted to get away from this conversation, but America's team, this could be the year. Oh, my goodness. You got everything you need on the offensive side. If this guy can come in and get the job done, oh, this could be the year, America. This could be the year you see Jerry Jones sitting there hoisting that Lombardi trophy. But here's the problem. Here's what I want to see tonight. Are you going to tweak? Are you going to tweak your defense? Greg, since we were playing, that Seattle Seahawks defense has never changed, and everybody knows it, right? So when I was playing for the Jets and I was playing for the Chicago Bears, every time we played against Seattle, the scouting report, everything was the same. All right, third down. Put speed at 3. What does speed at 3 mean? You take a wide receiver and you put him right by the tackle, and now you have a matchup between that receiver and KJ Wright. KJ Wright, a linebacker. That cheetah route where you run across the field deep and the quarterback just let it go. If we have been doing the same play over and over and over again for years, what makes you think that everybody in the NFL don't have the book on this defense? So you went to Atlanta and you had 1 year that was really good, but then after that, everybody start destroying your defense. Why? Because everybody knows what you're doing. So for him to be successful, he has to tweak his defense. And if he tweaks his defense, this could be a very scary, I like that, very scary Cowboys team.
Well, and the Cowboys, they have some questions in a good way as far as depth at linebacker. Like, how are they going to get all of their high draft picks over the last few years on the field? They're talking about using Micah Parsons as a guy who's going to rush the passer more, which I actually like that idea. They have a different type of question as far as secondary. It's the opposite of having a surplus of high draft picks. They got a bunch of young guys, bunch of unproven guys, and we know, obviously, when Dan Quinn was with Seattle, that while, yes, KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner are excellent, they had a really good D-line with Bennett, for getting his name, my apologies. Michael Bennett.
Michael Bennett.
And Cliff Averill. But thank you. But the strength of it was they had 4 Pro Bowl caliber guys in the secondary, 2 safeties, 2 corners. The Cowboys have nothing similar to that. So how successful is the defense going to be while that secondary is learning on the fly? But Wilds, I agree with Greg that I am interested in the Steelers quarterback situation because it's not just Haskins. It's also, Mason Rudolph was thinking, hey, I'm going to be the heir apparent to Ben Roethlisberger. Then he got bonked on the head by Myles Garrett, and it feels, I mean, that's, if you remember, he wasn't a 7th-round pick. He was an early or a mid-3rd round pick.
2nd round
Big
pick.
Ben, if you remember when it happened. I thought it was 3rd. It might have been 2nd round. I might have it wrong. But he wasn't a late pick. When Big Ben, when he got drafted, Big Ben's like, I'm not here to, teach him the playbook, because he saw that the Steelers were saying, remember that, we are prepared to try to move on. And listen, Haskins, the best thing Haskins has going for him is what he did in college and where he was drafted. He didn't exactly wash himself in glory in Washington on the field or off the field.
Nope.
So I think the Steelers' backup quarterback position, Wilds, is in flux to a degree. And when you have a quarterback such as Big Ben, who, while always plays through injury, seems to almost always get dinged up, like, you're probably going to have to play your backup quarterback some this year. So that's something I want to watch tonight as well.
Yeah, and it's just a preseason game, but I think the stakes for the Cowboys defense and Haskins are pretty high. I think those guys are going to be going full steam. So the other thing to watch about the Cowboys defense is this. This game is super low scoring historically. The winning team of the last 5 games, 14 points, 17 points, 20 points, and 2 scores of 14. So you don't have to score a lot of points. If Dwayne Haskins can go out there and score even 2 touchdowns, that would be a big deal on the scale of what this Hall of Fame game usually produces. So I'm interested in defense and if Haskins can carve them up.
All right, football back on Fox tonight. Can't wait to sit down